In Ohio and across the United States, high school students perform poorly in standardized tests in math and science. Compared to students' scores in other industrialized nations, the USA barely ranks in the top 25.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
Also, in Ohio, fewer students are choosing to pursue science careers. Alarmed by this trend, the Ohio Board of Regents funded several pilot projects to test innovative ideas to engage students in science and math. One of these is ISLS. For 3 years, students, teachers, and faculty in Northeast Ohio have worked together to develop project-based curriculum. Their subject? The Cuyahoga River watershed. The burning of the Cuyahoga in 1969 catalyzed the environmental movement in the United States. Can the same river ignite students' interest in science 40 years later?
Oh my god, look at how it does that.
Yeah. Oh, it does it when I do it fast.
In school, you're given a procedure and you just you do it and turn it in. But now I'm more interested in thinking about what I just learned about.
I actually learned, so much. Like, I didn't really expect this. This is like something like I'll remember for the rest of my life. It like really interested me in like a science career, actually.
So this is not just your typical kind of science education program. It's 1/3 technology, 1/3 science, and 1/3 learning. So often we're interested in assessment and we forget about learning. And we're interested in learning and want to minimize the assessment so that it becomes so much a part of the learning that you don't even notice that you're being assessed.
I also realized just recently, just now, that I have the most dangerous position tonight of everyone in this room, because you've all had a long day, right? You all had dinner, and I'm the only thing standing between you and ice cream. And I don't have any chocolate. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be coming up with kind of research hypotheses and gathering data and then analyzing it. And then Jessica did a very nice job of giving you kind of the big picture. Okay, what is a stream about? What are the important things to think about when you're thinking about a stream? What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to give you the background information that tomorrow, when we go out and we gather all this data, you have kind of a general idea. Well, why are we gathering that data? What is that used for? How can that show us something important?
Look at that one. Whoa, what is that? Who has a black spot on the tail and a black spot on the dorsal fin and a regular old fish mouth.
Yeah.
Creek chub. And this is Somatolus atromaculatus. So creek chub. See how nice it is? So that's a nice one. What's his mouth look like?
It's dipped in like a...
It's dipped in like a...
The dart one?
A kiss.
Sucker.
I told you I wasn't making it up. It is a sucker fish.
This is a common sucker or a white sucker. What was it? Mottled sculpin. What was it, Laura? A mottled sculpin. Look at that.
Okay. All right. Any questions on how you'll be sampling the bugs?
Yeah, naturally.
Okay, so some stoneflies.
These are the stoneflies?
Yep. So this is a stonefly, and generally stoneflies indicate kind of better water quality. If you looked at your sheet...
Yeah. Intolerant, moderate, yeah.
Okay, so where do you see stoneflies on it?
First one, intolerant.
Okay, so intolerant of pollution, meaning good quality water. These guys are called...
So we measured the stream at different lengths, and then we let marked leaves go by, and we waited 25 minutes, and when the 25 minutes was over, we had to count the leaves and how far they made it on the stream. And that's what we're doing. This is really a hands-on, learning environment, and like I never did laser leveling, which we did the other day. I thought that was really interesting. And also I never did the ORAM, which is evaluating the wetlands. And like I haven't done so many of the stuff that we're doing here, so it's a really great learning opportunity. Alright, this is where the water will go. If it rains, it'll go around and it'll go into this vegetation, and the vegetation and trees and things go all the way around. So I guess this little stream, although may not seem so big, helps all this grow right here. Like these little streams and little creeks that we think are so insignificant are so important to the life of the earth and all this vegetation that we see. And I never really thought to stop and consider that, so I think that's really interesting.
I don't know, I've done a lot of things this week that I've never done before. I've laser leveled, gone into the streams, and I've been in streams before, but I haven't analyzed them. I've analyzed wetlands. I've studied macroinvertebrates, looked at streams in a new way. Just in general, redefined how I don't know, see streams in our environment.
Well, my favorite and probably the coolest was the laser leveling, because I didn't really work with the lasers, and it was fun going out in the football field and sort of measuring everything out and drawing parallels with what we had done the days before, so that was pretty cool. It's a lot more fun to actually go out there and interact instead of just sitting in a room and being told everything. It's fun to actually go out there and survey the land and see the environment, and then instead of just sitting inside and seeing pictures of it on a slideshow.
We're kind of all from we're friends and stuff kind of, but we're still from different groups, so we kind of coming all together from different groups from our school, and then being able to work together as well as we are, and kind of creating friendships with each other, and just kind of all taking part in everything. No one's doing all the work or most of the work. It's just we're all kind of working together. And my learning community came in all 5 of us, we knew each other, but we were all kind of from 5 different groups or cliques or whatever. And so coming in here, we didn't know how we would work together or anything, but throughout the week, all the kids in my group, they're probably my best, some of my best friends now, and we just work very well together. There's no troubles ever. We don't argue. Our personalities are great for each other.
If we were going to design a vehicle for learning, the learning community would probably be it. If you look at how nature's brain works, how we learn in concert with other people, with things, with environments. And so learning in a community brings together, in the case of the STEM students, 5 high school students who each have very different experiences and backgrounds, just as these flowers do. No two are alike. No 2 people in a learning community are alike. And so we bring these groups together, and they form an environment for learning where it's safe, where you can explore, and where you bring your natural questions to what you're studying. One of the first advocates of learning communities was John Dewey. And he said that the way that we learn is through exploring, through experience. And years later, there would be many neuroscientists who would come and support Dewey's idea, but basically Dewey was saying we learn by doing, and we learn by doing with other people. That our ideas need to bump up against nature and the environment and other people.
All right, well, we are the learning community from Canton Early College, and basically what we plan on doing is making an environment protection club inside of our school. And I'm Brayden Szyminski.
I'm Tim Montgomery.
I'm Arsenio Solomon.
I'm Sarah Beckert.
And I'm Shalisha James.
And before we start, we'd like to have you all come over here and see our blow-up stream that we created. It's like a diagram of what you would see if you came in the stream. So come on up. Now tell us what you see that could affect this environment.
By having these experiences, I've learned teamwork and cooperation with other people, and not just people that you know, people that you're sometimes are strangers to you, and you have to like come together and make a presentation, and it's a lot of pressure, but it develops good skills.
What the downstream side did was we had to walk towards the edge of the bank because there was no way to put a marker into the water. So what Bobby and I did was we take a stick, put it in the side of the bank, and attach the measuring tape and go out the 100 feet.
I used Google Earth in my little scanning around Google Earth, and we have this park in Green where they've been flooding it, and we knew it had something to do with the airport, Akron Can, that was right nearby. Weren't sure what. Somebody told me, well, airports have to have a certain amount of water around them. I really wasn't sure, so I looked into it. And some old pictures, at the end of the runway, what they're doing is they're extending it. And some old pictures show that before they began the extension and they had to move a whole bunch of dirt in to level out the land, there was a wetland there, so it must have been wetland mitigate. The technologies that are available to us here, there's Google Docs, the Blogger, Picasa, all those really neat things that are mostly through Google. I'm just so excited to tell my friends and tell the teachers at my school how beneficial this could be. So I'm really excited to go teach other people.
This is an example where technology is so far ahead of policy and practice and so on. And there are so many schools that ban technology, and so in some ways this year we've kind of taken a step back and gone to these new netbooks, which is a new technology, but in terms of very similar to computers.
The netbooks will allow us to kind of keep up with the technologies that are out there and to show our students that these real-world technologies that people use every day can be used for education. We're going to show that if students at all levels have the technology, they're more likely to be engaged in education.
Right. Yeah. So we should
Through school, we do labs and such, but we don't really have the feeling that when you make a career in science, it's not sitting through presentations or sitting through lectures, taking notes on this, doing homework on that. It's doing experiments, and it's the more hands-on part, which at ISLS, that it was mostly hands-on things.
In the biological stuff, I'm really excited to go out and tell my friends how we can help in our little corner of Ohio, how to save our environment. There's wetlands that are in danger around our school of development that I think are really nice wetlands that we could save. So
there's a few things that I'll take back to my school after being here this week. And that is the way that I teach, most definitely. I've been teaching for 12 years. The way I've always taught, pretty much, I'm realizing now, is that I was giving information, they were receiving it. And I'm finding that these students, they don't want that. They want to think for themselves. They want to figure things out. And I think that's been kind of a light bulb moment for me as a professional educator, because that's what they want. And I think when they have that kind of a catalyst situation to speed up their thought processing skills and put them in a situation where they think, they're not being told to memorize, they're actually thinking and thinking things through, I think has been a really great moment for me as an educator.
We want to move towards a more sustainable model, a way to make it possible for every district in the state of Ohio to have groups of students and teachers come as learning communities and receive some training and help to incorporate active hands-on project-based learning that deals with watersheds into every classroom in Ohio.